So in this video, we'll be looking at the pH scale as well as the universal indicator. What is the pH scale? A pH scale is basically a series of numbers from 1 to 14 that will tell us how acidic or how alkali a solution is. So when we look at the numbers here, 1 to 14, right, the numbers will tell us information. For instance, if the pH level is at pH 7, we will conclude that the solution is neutral. In a neutral solution, there are the same concentration of H plus ions as well as hydroxide ions. Whereas when the solution is less than 6, so from 1 all the way to 6, we're going to say that this solution is acidic. In an acidic solution, there are definitely more hydrogen ions than there are hydroxide ions. Conversely, when the pH level increases more than 7, so from 8 all the way to 14, we can say that this solution is more alkali, where there are more hydroxide ions than hydrogen ions. So these are some information that the pH scale can give us. At the same time, the pH scale can give us even more information. So if we look at just the acidic numbers, so from 1 to 6, pH1 right at the bottom here will indicate that a solution is highly acid, or we say that it is a strong acid. Okay, a strong acid means that there are a lot of H plus ions. So there are a lot of H plus. Whereas if the number goes bigger to probably pH 7 right here, pH 6. For pH 6 is still an acid, but this time it is a weak acid. There are still more hydrogen ions, but there are much lesser hydrogen ions. Okay, a similar pattern can be seen for the alkali range. So for the alkali range, right, the bigger the number, so at pH 14, we would say this is a strong alkali. So in a strong alkaline solution, there are a lot of hydroxide ions, whereas when the number becomes much smaller, like pH 8, we will say that this is a weak alkali. So there's still more hydroxide than hydrogen ions, but there are much lesser hydroxide ions. Okay, so in reality, these are the numbers, but if I give you a clear solution, you wouldn't know what the pH is. So that's why we will come to the universal indicator. The universal indicator is a solution that will change color when it is put in solutions of different pH levels. So, for example, this is what you can observe in the lab. If you have different solutions over here, and then you want to know how acidic or how alkali it is, you can just drop 2 drops of universal indicator and the solution will change color immediately. So you need to know the colors of the universal indicator. Like for instance, this tube over here is green, so then we know that the pH is probably 7. Right, then if I look at a super dark solution, I say that it's a blue color, I would know that it's probably an alkali, probably a weak alkali. Whereas if it is red, then I can say that, hey, this is a very strong alkali. So you need to memorize the colors over here. It can be simplified right up here. So colors are subjective, but I know sometimes in the lab we see that the color looks pink, but because we want to be consistent throughout the chemistry world, so we are going to say the colors of the universal indicator for strong acids are red, weak acids yellow, weak alkali blue, strong alkali purple. So you just have to remember the colors here. One way to remember it is to remember the colors of the rainbow. So it really goes sequentially from red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple.